Alright, in this video we're going to learn how to wrap our hands. So there's a couple of different ways that we can wrap our hands. We have two different types of wraps that we can use. We have quick wraps and long wraps. We only sell quick wraps. For our purposes, we don't need long wraps. If you have long wraps and you know how to put them on, great. There's going to be, the next video will show you exactly how to put them on if you're not sure, but we want to make sure that you're wrapped up before you get to class. So regardless if you're using quick wraps or long wraps, make sure that you have them on or come to class in time to have them on before the class starts. Don't rock up at, say if your class is at 6, don't rock up at 5:58 and then, oh, sorry, I've got to get my wraps on. You're going to need your wraps on. You're at a boxing class. Make sure you get there early enough and have that, that respect for your trainer and also for the other people participating. We don't want to be waiting on someone who's coming late and not having their wraps on. So make sure you arrive early enough to get your wraps on. So we have two different wraps that we use at boxing. We have two different brands as well. So we have our wraps that have 2 finger holes. So we have 2 fingers in each hole. We also have ones that have 4 fingers in each hole. So I'm just going to chuck them on nice and quick. So we basically put our hands straight through the glove. For these ones here, there's 2 fingers. So we have 2 fingers in one hole, 2 fingers in the other, and the slit comes in the middle. As for the band, we want to make sure it's around our wrist really, really firm, okay? We don't want to be cutting off blood supply, but we also don't want it too loose either. So we want to make sure that as we go through, it's nice and firm. If you've ever got the Velcro the wrong way, so it's not quite going to work, you're just going to twist it over, okay? You don't need to undo the whole wrap. So it's nice and firm around the wrist. You can see that there's a bit of a, it can come out. I am wearing a watch, but it can come out a little bit. We want to make sure it's nice and firm on that wrist. We want to be able to make a fist. We don't want to have any blood flow cut off, but we want to make sure it's all nice and firm in that position. When we punch, it's going to get a little bit looser as we go through. So we want to make sure that it's quite firm. We want to make sure those wrists are nice and in line. If you can bend your wrist into this position, like it's quite hard and I'm forcing myself to do that, you shouldn't be able to with wraps on, okay? If they're tight enough, you shouldn't be able to. These ones are quite old, so I am able to do it. These ones are quite a fair bit newer. So these ones, we have our 4 finger slots, so our 4 fingers go in. We have our thumb, which is exposed, so that's the difference between the two, whether we have our 4 finger slots or our 2 fingers in each slot, and then we have our thumb exposed. Same thing, we want to make sure that we get it nice and firm around our wrist. We do not need to wrap it around our knuckles. We don't need to wrap it around our, hands here. It's just around the wrist, nice and tight. Again, not cutting off blood flow, but making sure it's nice and firm. So you can see here, same thing, it comes in quite a fair bit, and every time we punch, it's going to be nice and firm. So this one, I'm not able to bend as far. I'd have to pull it just because these ones are a little bit newer. So as they get a bit old, you'll see that some people will choose to wrap it around their knuckles. That's okay, all right? So as you get a little bit more advanced, as you do it more often, some people like to come into this position here and they'll wrap it, I should do one less, and they'll wrap it around their wrist as well as their palm, all right? So that just depends on a preference. As it gets a bit older, sometimes you need that because they're worn out, but for the majority of people, we want to make sure it's all about the wrist. The knuckles have enough padding, regardless of which one you have. There's a nice big pad on top. We don't need that kind of wrapping around our wrist, right? Wrapping around our knuckles. We need it around our wrist. That's how we use our quick wraps. That's how we get them on.